Hello everybody and welcome to another Pedro Gustos's video, and this is the continuation of my previous video on the history of iOS. Now we're going into the flattening, which is iOS's flat era. And it all starts in 2013 with iOS 7. This right here is an iPhone 4 running iOS 7.1.2, its final version. Completely revamped app switcher, where you could just double press the home button, like before, but now you can actually see the last thing that was in each app, as well as swipe up to remove that app from your app switcher. When compared to iOS 6, the changes are immediately obvious. Everything is now flat, skeuomorphism is no longer, everything is flat, and everything has blur applied to everything. Some new additions, other than the revolutionary new design, include the control center, which for the first time could have quick access to settings on stock iOS. Jailbreaking had that for years before. Also, a new addition on iOS 7 was the back swipe gesture, where you could go to the previous menu just by swiping from left to right. It also introduced iCloud, and by extension, iCloud Lock, the worst feature Apple has ever made. It was arguably Apple's biggest update ever, even to this day, and the only other update that comes even close to being as massive would maybe be iOS 26, but even then, this was a fundamental change in how iOS looked and felt like. Next up, we have iOS 8. This right here is an iPhone 5 running iOS 8.4.1, which you can actually still downgrade these devices to right now via OTA downgrading. It wasn't that major of a change compared to iOS 7, but it did add a couple nice things, like the Health app and a couple other nice to have features. Also, this was the year that the Apple Watch got introduced, so now you have the Apple Watch app, which allows you to pair an Apple Watch to your iPhone. The Health app was introduced in iOS 8, as well as the Apple Watch app to pair Apple Watches, since that was in 2014, that's when they were announced. In terms of actual changes, other than that, there isn't that many. A couple UI changes, but most of them are just small refinements, and later versions of iOS 7 already had changed them. So it isn't that massive. Coming up, we have in 2015 iOS 9. This right here is an iPhone 5C running iOS 9.0.2, as you can see right here. This one is actually never updated to begin with since September 2015, as you can't really downgrade these 5Cs. iOS 9 brought a couple refinements yet again, like the app switcher now was slightly different. It opened this way, and was quite interesting, to say the least. I mean, it's definitely quite different. And it was a minor update, but the thing that makes it quite remarkable is that it was actually the last version to run on A5 devices, that started releasing around 2011. And they ran it really badly. You did not want to use an iPhone 4S on iOS 9. And last up for this era of iOS, which is the flat era, we have iOS 10. This right here is an iPhone 5S running iOS 10.3.3. Yet again, not that major of an upgrade, but it was the last version to run on A6 devices, and actually on 32-bit devices at all. So it was the end of an era, and it actually ran quite well on these devices. Not perfectly, but an iPhone 5 or 5C on iOS 10 wasn't nearly as bad as an A5 device on iOS 9. So this has been a Pedro Gustos's video. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Pedro out.